I'm not a fan of the Battle Royale genre. I've had fun with it, but the games don't have a lot of sticking power with me, and like so many others, I did believe that was just going to be the next fad the gaming industry was chasing for quick money. But as we've seen from the genre's continued success, it's a fad that's not going away just yet, and may even become a real staple of games in the near future. This is the reason why I decided to take a look at Apex Legends, the new game from Respawn Entertainment and EA. Everyone was ranting and raving about how great it was, and how it was a real game changer, and credit where credit is due. You don't get 25 million registered users in 1 week just by copying PUBG.
The champion.
Canonically, Apex does take place in the Titanfall universe, but since there's no story and no Titans, you'd be forgiven for not realizing what's a piece of trivia. At least it adds something to the wider universe and lets us know there's more to Titanfall than what's going on in the first 2 games. With that being said, it did leave me wanting a Titanfall 3 because the gameplay here is right on point. It's fast-paced and feels like a cross between old-school Speed and COD Twitch shooting. What further sets it apart from the pack are how the game handles traversal, communication, and characters.
We took first blood.
Apex may be a battle royale, but it is also a hero shooter like Overwatch before it. The characters are distinct in design, personality, and ability, and I had a good deal of fun trying them out. Since each character is better suited for different situations, co-op becomes paramount when taking their abilities and ultimates into consideration. For instance, Pathfinder became my main, and with his grappling hook, he has greater traversal in smaller areas, and with his ultimate, he can create a new zip line to open up new fast travel options for the squad. Squad communication is vital for success or failure, which ties into the one mechanic you've been hearing everyone praising, the ping system. Yes, it is as innovative and ingenious as they say. With nothing but the click of one button, you give out instant communication pointing out supplies, enemies, and points of interest. So if you're someone without a mic, you're still guaranteed to be able to convey info as much as your squad's MVP. Travel is also a breath of fresh air compared to the competition, thanks to the unlimited sprint and reasonable distance between regions, so hoofing it is always a valid option to avoid the death ring, but there are other options. What with the characters also possessing the same acrobatic skills as the Titanfall protagonists, and the presence of launch pads, which throw you into the air and let you do another skydive to where you need to go, and the skydiving, man, it did not get old.
Patching myself up.
Taking fire.
However, at its core, Apex is still just your standard battle royale experience. You skydive in, scavenge for supplies, run from a ring of death, rinse and repeat. What this also means is that there's long periods where you're just constantly running and rarely running into another player, which can get real boring real fast. In fact, the one match my squad won, we won because we involuntarily missed all the other squads and then just ran into the last players at the end. There's also the issue of character story that's inherent to hero shooters, in that they give the characters interesting backstories, but the stories are never actually part of the experience, thus making their backstories completely inconsequential. For example, a number of people from certain media niches made a big deal about how a number of the characters here are LGBT, and that's not a bad thing, but since there's no narrative, it doesn't factor into the game experience. In fact, the only way you'll know that Gibraltar is gay or Bloodhound can't decide if she's a guy or a girl is if you look for certain promotional media, and only the diehards are even going to try to do that. So someone could claim that Caustic is actually the latest reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, or Pathfinder is an autonomous Terminator biding his time that likes to collect hardcore hentai. And thanks to the lack of any real narrative present, these claims would hold equal validity to the official canon to simple casual players.
Frag out. Spot. Double timing it. Keep it left. Frag out.
Then, of course, there's the cash shop. I didn't spend any money on Apex while playing, but from what I could see, it looks like EA managed to show some restraint this time, rather than copying Battlefront 2, with the price of Apex coins being fairly reasonable, and there's a rotating stock of cosmetics you can choose to buy, and of course new characters that only cost around $10 a piece. But unfortunately, they couldn't resist putting loot boxes in. At least they're mainly used as a reward for progression, but you can still buy them, but in a shocking move from EA, they're showing the loot odds in clear English, which is pleasing to see, I have to confess. I enjoyed my time with Apex Legends, more so than I did back when I gave PUBG a try. Despite its innovations, it can't escape the trappings of the genre. For every time I was having fun, there were just long stretches of just plodding around and a few minutes running around before getting owned. And this is without mentioning how it lacks some genre conventions, like solo or duo play. I can see myself playing it some more in the near future, yet while playing there was always this persistent nagging in the back of my head which went along the lines of, I actually wouldn't mind playing some Iron Sight instead right now.
Hostile spotted.
Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you really did like it, then please, by all means, like and subscribe. Now, for the next couple gaming videos, I am going to do a review on Generation Zero, and I'm looking at also doing a first impressions on Darksiders 3. That's a game I've been wanting to play for a very long time, but who knows, it might get a full review, just have to wait and see for now. And for movie reviews, I've got one for Alita Battle Angel in the works, as well as one for Green Book. So you guys have all that and more to look forward to.